Where are you joining us from? Where are you joining us from? Welcome somebody, tell somebody else, share the link, share it to your status, share it to your groups, and let them know. Invite somebody else, let them know that we're here and we are starting now. You're welcome, especially to the first timers. If this is your first time on PTB, you're very, very, very welcome. Thank you. Tonbridge Wells, Kent, you're welcome. London, Auntie Grace, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. You're all very welcome to tonight's Pass the Baton. Before I introduce the speaker, especially to the new people, I will just share a little bit about Pass the Baton, and I'm just gonna call on, where is she? Okay, just unmute yourself to kindly just share a little bit about PTB, and then we can call on the first speaker. Thank you. Yes, please.
Right. Yeah. Are we ready? Yeah, thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. We are very delighted to have you here, especially our men. We are so, so thrilled and honored to have you here. We know normally, we have our women thing, but today is special for you. And you have your seat, be rest assured that you're going to have fun. It will be engaging and, I'm believing God that we will all learn one or two things and glean from our guest speakers today. I'm just going to share what Pass the Baton stands for. Pass the Baton provides, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. Pass the Baton provide a platform for women to connect, share experiences, and build relationships, work or collaborate with other charities or businesses to support one another, meet women all over the world doing great things and bring them on board to lift others up, encouraging women to start and grow businesses in various sectors in the UK, empower women in various fields to build their career actively, encouraging them to seek opportunities for professional growth and development, support women all over the world to be educated and to alleviate poverty, abuse, and all forms of violence. Activities include workshops, trainings, community events, advocacy, and awareness and various engagements. Abuse, SEN, financial literacy, development of skills, mental health, and suicide, and etc., etc. How will the activity benefit the community? The beneficiaries of the CIC empower, enlighten, and grow women in the long run who are confident and knowledgeable about everything happening around them, but most importantly, can also contribute to the economy. So this is what we stand for as at Pass the Baton. Over to you, Sister Bumi.
Thank you so very much. So tonight, our first speaker, without delving too much, like I said, if you're a man on the platform, you literally want to invite another person to join us. It could be a friend, it could be a neighbor. Please to join us. It's really a special edition for our men tonight, and we're really, really happy to have you on board tonight. So our first speaker is Ms. Olayinka Bajomo, who is an advanced clinical practitioner. Like I always say, I always love to tell stories at the back of how I've met somebody. And I've known her for over 15 years, a woman of integrity. All her life, she's devoted it to, working, serving. She's also the founder of Lifesavers 47 Limited, and also the founder of Animate. Some of you would have seen Animate on my status. So today she'll be looking into the topic andropause, and I'm just trying to see if I can see I saw her just literally a few minutes ago. Yes, yes, I can see her now. I'm just trying to see. Okay, yes, thank you so much, Emma. Please, using your reaction button, kindly just welcome her to the platform. She is definitely not a first timer on Pass the Baton. She is Pass the Baton herself. So thank you so much, Ma. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me to the program. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming. I know it's getting towards that time of the night that everybody is it your dinner you want to prepare or getting ready for bed. Well, thank you for coming all the same. So my name is Olayinka Bajomo, as introduced, and tonight I've been asked to talk about andropause. Andropause. So today we are tackling this silent topic in men's health. A lot of people think andropause is like the female menopause. It isn't. It's a natural biological shift that impacts on energy, mood, focus, and how we can easily manage it. So specifically, we're talking to men tonight. I can see some ladies on the platform. Yes, you can learn about this. Go and help your spouse or your future husband when it gets to that time. So you're all welcome. And yeah, we'll be looking at various things that associated with andropause. So, like I said earlier, it's not same as menopause. And I know there is room to ask questions later. So, whatever questions you have, you can write them down and we can tackle those later. So, in introducing the program and the teaching, there's a lot of talks about, I think, when a man has reached andropause, they cannot perform anymore. I think their sex drive will not be as it used to be. Probably you've heard that before. You can put on the chat what you think now. Is it true? Is it a lie? Is it a myth? Is it one of those things? You can share on the chat right now. So when we talk about andropause, we are saying that the testosterone, which is the male hormone, women have testosterone as well, but it's more predominant in the men than in the women. And when we talk about andropause, we are saying that it's a state of that testosterone, which is the male hormone, mainly male hormone, found in women as well. It begins to drop like 1% every year, 1% every year. And from age 30, it's the male hormone, testosterone, that begins to drop by 1% on yearly basis right from age 30. So we say it is simply late onset of hypogonadism. And hypogonadism is a medical condition in which the sex glands, the gonads, that is the testes in the men. And then if we want to talk about the women, it is the ovaries in the women. So it produces little or no sex hormones, that is the female ones. But the men, it is when these very gonads, the testes in the male, right? When this condition in men, the testosterone begins to drop. So this deficiency, it can lead to some men and some women, it can lead to what we call delayed puberty. When all the features that distinguish a man from a woman, when it begins to come up, like the women, the breasts at a particular age, you expect a young lady to begin to come up. So this may be delayed even till they are almost like 20, 25. And then things like infertility. And then the men, you have the goit, I said goiter. What do we call it? Some people call it Adam's apple, right? It begins to come up as well from some young boys from like their age 13, you begin to see that happening, their voice changes. And then when this begins to happen from age 30, some young men, even as early as age 30, age 36, they will come up and say, oh, they have diminished sexual function. Or I can see that my muscle is wasting, even as young as that. So when you begin to see things like this, maybe you are still young on the platform, you are a man, this is what is happening. Unlike in the female, until we get to a particular age, we don't begin to see these changes happening. Today, now we have women as well that they reach menopause early, but it still gets to a certain age. Unlike men, it's not menopause, but a reduction in their testosterone by 1% on yearly basis from age 30. So that's the difference. It's a decline, a gradual decline by 1% on yearly basis. Unlike when it comes to the woman, it starts almost immediately and at a very fast rate. And before you know it, period stops, all that stops. But with men, it's nothing like that. So that's why we don't really see it as menopause. Okay? And then we talk about what are the symptoms that we see, because I'm just trying to kind of summarize each of them because of the time that is allocated to me. But when we have time for questions, then maybe we can expatiate more. So what are the core symptoms? How would you know? I've mentioned loss of muscle mass, but physically, we see some men, all of a sudden, they begin to have pot belly. All of a sudden, they begin to have pot belly and they're competing with their wives. And you think they're actually pregnant? No. It depends on how much of that testosterone that is lost. And then they also complain of low energy. Same thing happens in women too. They too begin to say, oh, I'm tired, I feel tired all the time, blah, blah, blah. So when there is that physical loss of muscle mass, increased belly fat, which shows like pot belly, and low energy. Physically, you see that. Men complain about that. And then mentally, like women too do during menopause, they complain of brain fog. Men also complain of brain fog. They become irritable as well. Some women, they begin to nag, they are snappy, same thing when this happens in men as well. So women, you're on the platform, your husband begins to behave this way, bear with them. It could be these changes that is taking place in their lives, okay? And unexplained low mood. A man that used to be very bubbly, chatting with you, and all of a sudden, they become not totally withdrawn, but you will see that they are not as glowing as they used to be. And they are suddenly irritated by whatever you say that, normally, what's wrong with this man? Begin to recognize that maybe andropause is already taking place, which has already taken place in their lives anyway, because I said it starts from age 30. But by the time they now get to in their 40s, in their 50s, oh, by the time they're getting to their 60s, it is reducing. Like in the female, our own eggs diminish every year. It diminishes. And that's why they say it's dangerous if a woman doesn't start having their babies on time, because by the time they're entering into their late 30s, some people, their eggs are almost gone, completely gone. But with men, theirs is a very slow decline. Theirs is just, women's own is in thousands. Men is just 1% every year. But it still takes place. And that's why men can still produce children even in their 70s, even in their 80s, because their testosterone level is still very much there. It's just declining gradually. I hope that makes sense. And then sexually, some men will not allow their wives to rest before. Almost every day, they want to have sex. But when this begins to decline and it's getting to that point where you begin to see the same man that even when you are rubbing your body against their body, trying to caress them, maybe you are in the mood, and the man is giving you excuses, like women to give excuse when they don't want to do stuff. Oh, I've been working all day. Oh, I'm tired. Because really, it gets at the men more than it does to the women, because they know that they used to perform very well before. And all of a sudden, what's happening here? So that part of irritability, not, being themselves and all that, it kind of, it's aggravated when they really now, it really now dawns on them that, I can't perform like I used to perform before. Any man, even young boys, when they wake up in the morning, their penny stands, it rises. Yeah. But when this begins to get at the men, this level begins to has actually reduced to a particular level. When they wake up in the morning, their pennies does not rise like it used to. So you're on the platform, you are experiencing things like this. Don't feel bad. There's still some remedies. There's still some treatments, yeah, that can be given to help the individual. And we also say that you as a person, just evaluate yourself, check yourself if these things are beginning to happen. Although there are some other things too that could make this happen. For example, if a man has diabetes or very bad high blood pressure that is not well managed, or you're on certain medication, it could also give you these same symptoms that we are talking about. So you need to be able to assess yourself before you go to see the doctor, so that by the time they're asking you questions, you already know what possibly is happening. We have something we call, when people come for consultation, there's something we call ICE. We want to know, do they have an idea about what is wrong with them? We want to know, are they concerned? What are their concerns? And at the end of the consultation, what are their expectations? What do they aim to get from that consultation? So before you go to your doctor, all these things you must have handy, because they may ask you these questions. So equip yourself before you go out, so that you are not further destabilized. All right. So far, I believe that you are getting what I am saying. So andropause is not just about getting older, like people think, but it's a gradual reduction in your testosterone as a man. And like I said, it affects people physically, muscle loss. It affects people mentally, brain fog or irritability. It affects people sexually through a low sex drive because of these hormonal changes. Cool. So the next thing I want us to look at is, if this is happening in my life, what can I do? I've just told you about you going to see your doctor. If you don't live in this part of the world, I want to say to you, look for a good hospital. In some parts of the world, anybody starts hospital and they want to treat everything. I'm afraid you will end up in wrong hands and it may worsen your condition. My dad, of blessed memory now, when he had prostate cancer, he didn't know he had prostate cancer because he has always been well all his life. He just felt, I was having this pain in my groin area. He didn't have any other symptoms. No blood in his urine, no pain when he's passing urine, no incontinence, nothing. Everything, he was still driving himself. He was 83. And then he spoke to me. And I said to him, Dad, he used to live in Ibadan in Nigeria. I said, Dad, please go to University College Hospital. He had a private doctor he used to go to. He said, those people, they will turn me into a guinea pig. And they will be using me for experiments. And he refused to go. I told my other siblings, they said, you know him. He's a very, very strong-headed man. Whatever he wants to do is what he does. He went to this doctor, this so-called doctor, and the man admitted him, hung his leg up because he did an x-ray and he thought there was a fracture or dislocation, either way, according to him. And he hung up my father's leg with weights, thinking, okay, he's going to realign the bone. Whereas it was metastasis that was taking place. It has eaten up his bones. I'm laughing now, but then it was not funny. And that's what I'm trying to warn you about. Make sure that you go to a place where the specialist is available. My dad eventually went to the same UCLH where he didn't want to go to. And the very day he got there, he was diagnosed as having stage 4 cancer of the prostate. Probably if he had gone when I told him to, which was about 6 or 7 months before his death, probably it would have been reversed. So I'm saying this for everyone on the platform. If you don't live in the Western world, please make sure you save enough, all right, and go to either a government hospital, general hospital, teaching hospital. They will still tell you the right thing to do. They may just ask you to go and buy this, buy that, do that. I always advocate, if you don't have money for good private hospitals, go to the government hospital in your country. They still have recognized specialists, qualified professionals who will look after you. I've taken my time. I really spent time on this because I've had too many things. Oh, we were there. They were taking our money. Well, we're doing this, we're doing that. It's not their fault. It's your own ignorance that has costed you. So I'm telling you today, please make sure you seek for help where it is necessary. So if you are having all the symptoms, right? The answer is just go and see your doctor. Go and see your doctor. They may ask you to do certain blood tests. Usually they will test your testosterone levels. Right? The moment they do that, then they will be able to say to you that, oh, Mr. So and so, the reason you're having all these symptoms is because your testosterone level is low. And there's treatment. They can start giving you a replacement. All right? And some people, they will look at it and say, you need 2 kinds of treatment. They'll give you a tablet that will stimulate and give you that drive again to be able to have sex, which you will take an hour before sex. And then you might still be on testosterone treatment. Okay? So there is still help. Like the women do today, we have what we call HRT, hormonal replacement therapy. Yeah, testosterone replacement therapy, they don't call it HRT, but it's similar to what the women do. Okay? The doctors will help you with that, and as long as you are able to abide by what they say, you should be fine. They will also educate you on your diet. They might say to you, eat more of protein. This also, there's a caveat to this. If you have kidney problems, we don't recommend high protein. So that's the reason you cannot just treat yourself. You cannot just read what Google says out there. Oh, this is what, I should be eating high protein. Like I spoke to one of my patients yesterday. He's diabetic, he's got kidney issues, he's got high blood pressure. And I know they've told me, I should just reduce my carbohydrates. I said, no, You're not just reducing your carbohydrate. And I had to tell him this. I said, oh, really? That means I've been doing more harm to myself. I said, exactly. So don't be like that person on the platform today. If you need to seek help, please go to the professionals. Don't, because in our part of the world, we tend to do DIY a lot. Don't do DIY with your health. You may do it with things at home that you want to knock together or whatever. Don't do that to yourself. Let the professionals handle it, especially when it comes to things like this. Sleep is very important. When the body is stressed, the level of your testosterone also drops. All right? So when you sleep, and when your wife gives you peace of mind, and you give yourself peace of mind, things will get better. So if you are not having enough sleep, you are not doing yourself any good. Remember, we talked about brain fog. Normally, even when people don't sleep well, you will have brain fog. You'll be confused at times. You want to say certain things, you are talking rubbish. Not to now talk of when there's an organic cause to it. So please ensure that you sleep well. Because when you don't sleep well, your cortisol levels, destroys your circulating testosterone. Make sure that this lifestyle that I've talked about, this lifestyle shifts, make sure that you follow after them because they make a lot of difference. If you can lift things, heavy things, you don't have to go to the gym before you lift heavy stuff. At home, now I help my mom. I get some containers. I fill them with water because as we all age, if we don't use our arms as we should, the muscles will waste. And already because the hormonal levels are almost zero, she's in her 80s. I give these things to her. Maybe 2 or 3 times a day. She lifts them for certain minutes. It's just to help to build her muscle because she's not as active as she used to be. So also, men, prioritize heavy lifting of weights, right? Make sure you sleep well. Make sure you eat healthily. Fats, there are some healthy fats that you need, all right? And make sure you lower your stress levels. You lower your stress levels. Very, very key. Very, very important. I'm just recapping whatever I say under each point so that it's easy for you to kind of remember the things I have said. Your health is your most valuable asset. I repeat that. Your health is your most valuable asset. And if you don't look after yourself, nobody's going to look after you for you. You have to be fit for you to be able to run after money, for you to be able to make it in life. So things like you squatting, it also helps. It triggers an acute testosterone response. All right? Try and make sure you are happy. Then sugar. My pastor used to say we dig our grave with our fork and knife. Most of the things that causes problem for us human beings are sweet things, those things that are palatable. Run away. The moment you begin to experience this, and even before you start experiencing these symptoms, reduce your sugar intake. I can't do without taking chocolate. I can't do without taking sugar in my tea. I love ice cream. Make them a treat. Once in a while thing. Once in a while thing. The man I spoke to yesterday, he has diabetes, he has high blood pressure, he has kidney problem. Most times when people have diabetes and they have high blood pressure and it's not well managed, their kidneys it will go. And this same man still takes alcohol. And I was saying to him, okay, If you can't do without it, can you reduce it? I don't take it all the time. I said, oh gosh. Oh gosh. It's not for me, it's for you. You're on this platform. Whatever you think you love so much, but which will make you to dig your grave very quickly, or for you not to actually maximize your life because your health is depreciating, do away with them. Do away with them, please. Vitamin D is good. They're essential for hormone production. And where do we get vitamin D? Sunshine, most of the time. So in Africa, you have that privilege. Enjoy it. Early morning sun, between the hours of 7 and 10 in the morning. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Vitamin D, or over the counter, you can get vitamin D supplements. It's very essential for hormone production. All right. Things like oysters, shrimps, and prawns, they are also good. So when we talk about cholesterol, you still need the good ones. We have the bad ones, but you still need the good ones. Cholesterol is the direct building block of testosterone. Things like eggs, avocados, right? But like I said, even with eggs, if you have a kidney problem, the inner part of it, which is the one that will actually help with the cholesterol building, you don't take that. You only take the albumin, the white part. But avocado is okay. Okay? Very, very key. Very, very key. Zinc is also good for your hormone production. But things like red meat, it's got a lot of zinc in it. But when we get to particular age, we have to begin to reduce the quantity we eat because it also contains bad cholesterol. So when it comes to things about our diet, we must know that certain lifestyles, certain foods, they are not good for us, and we need to do away with them. When you go to your GP, they may say, okay, let's check your prostate levels, the prostate antigen levels. They might want to check that as well. It's just to help you to monitor your prostate, so that in case anything is brewing, then they can nip it in the bud as soon as possible. There's so many ways you can use your testosterone, which they will also advise you. We have the injectables, we have the tablets, we have the gel that you can apply to your body. I'm rounding up now because I'm almost finishing the time that is allotted to me. So during the question time, we can answer your questions. So can use that time to also teach some things that I have not talked about. Thank you for having me, Pastor Bomi.
Thank you very much, Ma.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that awesome, insightful information. I hope you're all taking notes. There is no information that is not important. Every information said here that she's giving on to us is valid. Even for us women, we can write some things down and send it to, our brothers, our friends, or our male, counterpart that are not here. So with your reaction button, I can see some people doing that already. Can we just appreciate our mama here for, that insightful information. Thank you so much. Yes. So sleep well, men. This is for everybody, actually. Men, women, we need to sleep well, we need to eat well, we need to reduce our stress level. These are vitamin C is good for everybody, zinc is good, avocado is good for everybody. But our men, please do take note of this, because we want you on this side of the, eternity for a long, long time. And I trust God that that will be the case when we do what we need to do as well. If you have questions, we have the Slido. Is the Slido link in the comment?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have the Slido link in the comment. Thank you, Stabumi. So if you have any question, put it in the Slido. If you want to put it in the comment box also, you are allowed to do. Please stay till the very end, because then we'll have our guest speakers answer your questions. The next agenda here is moving on to our second guest speaker today, and we are delighted, we are happy to have Prince Adedapo Araromi here with us today. I'll just read his bio while he gets ready to bless us with, good nuggets. Prince Adedapo Araromi, visionary leader in finance, global humanitarian, and devoted family man. Prince Adedapo Araromi is a man of decisive action and profound impact. Above all his professional accolades, Prince is a dedicated family man, proudly raising two lovely angels who inspire his daily commitment to building a better world. With over a decade of distinguished expertise as a financial advisor, Prince masterfully transforms complex client aspirations into tangible realities. As an area sales manager, he leads a high-performing team of advisors built entirely on trust and a thriving referral network. His compassion point towards service, whether securing a family's finance future or providing essential support globally. True leadership is found in the relentless commitment of his commitment to uplift others. Professional expertise, Prince sets the benchmark for client-centric service, specializing in three core pillars. One, protection, fortifying families and assets against unforeseen financial hazards. Very important. First-time buyers, transforming the complex property ladder transition into an effortless success story. Homeowners, optimizing homeowners. I'm sorry. Somebody's just that's my. I'm just going back to that. Beg your pardon. Okay. Homeowners, right. It's just gone. Okay. Apologies. Homeowners optimizing financial positions through seamless, efficient remortgaging solutions, philanthropic stewardship, and global outreach, driven by a deep humanitarian spirit. Prince is the founder of Just a Helping Hand, a non-profit actively combating poverty across the UK and Nigeria. UK impact, especially vital since the pandemic. The charity has provided essential relief and meal to over 10,000 less privileged families. Wow. Global reach in Nigeria is initiatives have directly supported. I hope you guys are applauding our guests. This is a lot of impact, a lot of work being done, and it deserves to be applauded. Global reach in Nigeria is initiatives I've directly supported and fed over 5,000 disadvantaged individuals. Civil duty and intellectual drive. A true Renaissance man, Prince holds a first-class honor degree from the University of Plymouth, where he has spent 6 years mentoring incoming university students, an avid reader, passionate traveler, and community anchor. His leadership roles include pioneering president of Yabatech alumni across the UK and Europe, vice president and social director of All Nigerian in the Kent and Medway, former social director for CAN UK, NANC, facilitating welfare and networking for the diaspora, universally recognized as a mentor, speaker, coach, and fierce advocate of humanity. Prince Adedapo Araromi is a true force for positive change, both at home and on the global stage. It is my very great honor to welcome to the podium our very own Prince Adedapo Araromi. Thank you very much for being here for us today. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to be with us and to come to bless us. So we appreciate you. Over to you, sir.
Wow. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir.
In fact, I had to kind of pinch myself to be sure that I was the one you're talking about. So I want to first of all thank past debating team. I want to thank Pastor Lubumi Awe. Thank you so much. I want to thank Mrs. Oluwashemu Afilaka. Thank you so much. I want to thank Flora Coker and of course the rest of the team. I don't intend to miss anyone out, but I just try to give honor to whom honor is due. It's not always easy to gather people together, particularly men, when it comes to advising us. So I must say kudos to you, women trying to make sure that we men are living longer. And I want to thank my our last speaker. I'm not sure, permit me to use the word doctor. I know you're a clinical practitionist. So Dr. Olayinka Lajomo, I hope I pronounced that well. An advanced clinical practitioner. Thank you so much for that insight. So when I was given this topic, usually I'd always want to see how best I can marry it together. I'm not sure if you can see my slide.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, sir.
So I'll just be talking and I'll find a way to get the slide. So yes, like anytime I'm being given a topic to share with someone else, I would always find a common ground. Whereby it's kind of connected. So Dr. Olayinka was speaking about a rare topic and focusing on men. And the major topic for this evening is men protecting what matters. And so I was asking myself, I said, how do I kind of connect it together in such a way that we would take something away from here? Because most webinars, and I'm sure you'd agree with me, it does well planned, well arranged, but at the end of the day, most speakers and most attendees don't tend to take a lot away. So, but my own is to make sure that if I connect it together, it'd be a lot easier for us to take something away. I was told to focus on life cover and critical illness cover. However, I am sorry to disappoint the past debating because I'm an expert in financial advising. I know they must have discussed about all of these topics because the topic is not a strange one. It's not a new topic. It's not a new topic at all. So what I intend to do is to focus on different areas of it, then specializing on the life cover and the critical illness. So I'm not disappointing you. So don't look disappointed. I like to go by the script. So without much ado, my name's Prince Adedapo Aromi. I've been given that, resounding welcome. Thank you for that. Pardon my error. I know some people saw it. If you don't see it, well, that's good. It's okay. But yes, why I'm here today is to make sure that we're trying to see how we can achieve these overreaching objectives. Because the topic I was given is life cover, critical illness cover. And the reason why I said it's going to be interwoven is when a doctor was mentioning some specifics earlier, I was able to write one or two things down. So when it comes to life and critical illness cover, you find out that most of the things she said is under the umbrella of critical illness. But of course, before I continue, I want to say that I've been in this industry, I'm sure it's not in that bio, over 15 years. Doing the same thing, advising several thousands of people and protecting their lives and what matters to them. It's a topic we don't like to talk about. Insurance, we don't even want to say it, and it doesn't even get to the dinner table. However, lately, a lot of people are now embracing it. And thanks again to the past debating team who has deemed it fit to bring these topics on board, to create that special awareness, to say, it's not enough for us to talk about other things. It's now time, let's bring it on board. And so thank you once again for this special opportunity that has been given to me and to discuss with the men. So yes, I've been doing this continuously and a lot of people have been saved, and I can give several examples. In fact, anytime I'm being given this privilege, I always want to bring someone on board, someone that has a practical experience in terms of testimony. Unfortunately, the lady is unavailable at the moment. Now, what happened to her? Let me start from there. A little story. So I set up a policy for her husband. I think about just shortly after pandemic. They just arrived in the country. The husband actually was the husband that came first. They brought 2 children then. The wife was back in Nigeria. So I set up a life cover. He was a doctor, so young doctor. And I advised, I did a webinar like this to the organization. And obviously, they reached out to me much later to have a further consultation. And of course, I did advise the husband, and he was able to set up policies that was comprehensive. And so when I say comprehensive, it's not only the very popular ones when they talk about life insurance that a lot of people know. So we're able to set up a critical illness cover and income protection for him. And of course, all other ones that he was exposed to in a shortfall, that's what we call it. And of course, when the wife came, I was able to kind of set up something basic for her too as well, because she was a dependent and she wasn't working. It was the husband that was working. So I think fast forward to about 2 years after, I randomly always check up on my clients every now and then. At least I try to do it on their birthdays and every now and then. And I remember calling this doctor's number because I didn't have the wife's number. I called the doctor's number, and the wife picked it up, and he said, this is the wife. And I said, can I speak to doctor, your husband? He said, oh, the doctor passed on 2 days ago. And anytime I hear this, it's like new, because I mean, in the field I am in, it's something that I kind of hear like on the regular, understand. So, but it was a shock, and it's always like new to me. So I'm like, I was dumbfounded for about minutes, and I didn't know what to say. So I was quiet, and then I found my voice, and I said, so what happened? The wife said died of cancer. And of course, cancer is a critical illness covered that, of course, it's very common amongst in the space at the moment, in the community and all that. And the next question I asked is she okay? Because I didn't want to do fact finding. And she said she's fine. I said, okay, I will call her back. So of course, I gathered myself together and I called her back, and I tried to console her and all of that and all of that. Anyway, fast forward because of the time, she eventually made a claim. Of course, that can bring the husband back. However, because of the status she had, the claim was able to pay off the mortgage. Not only that, was able to give a compassionate leave to stay in the country because of the status she had. Now, we might be there thinking, okay, so what are we trying to say here? What I'm trying to kind of pass across is in our community, we kind of not talk about insurance, but either we talk about it or we don't talk about it. What is still going to happen will happen. The thing about us as men, and of course women that are supporting us here, is after that happens, what would happen to the people that we love? From ourselves to other people that look up to us, that we're influential to. And I paused not because I didn't have anything to say. I wanted that to sink in. What would happen to those people that we love? Like, for instance, that example I gave earlier. So we're going to be looking at plugging financial roles, setting up financial goals, and how to attain them. Insurance bedrock of financial planning. Of course, we're not going to look into mortgages and inheritance tax. We touch on that because the topic I've been given is that even though I'm certified to talk about mortgages, I help mortgages too as well. Planning for retirement, protection against loss of income. Of course, like I said, I will be touching on one or two other areas in addition to the life and critical illness. Life cover protection for children's dependents still at home, and even if they're not at home. Savings investment long-term for surplus income or inheritance. Increased pension protection, contribution, will writing, and inheritance tax IIT. 40% of your estate can be liable. That particular area, a lot of people don't even have a clue. So we'll be touching on those areas too today. Financial prison. So check. Protection, retirement, investment, savings, mortgage. Like I said, let's just pretend the mortgage is not there for the. I am sure the person debating might want to either call me back and get someone else to talk about that, because that is an area too that we're really really shortchanging ourselves as a community in the UK at the moment. So, so again, so when we talk about financial planning, so when we talk about all those investments, mortgages, pensions, whatever type of investment, do we know that protection is actually the foundation of every financial plan? Do we have a clue? Please feel free to use the chat box. I'd always start by asking, I can't see how many of us here, I think we're 32. Of course, apart from, well, please, the organizers, please take part too as well. Use the chat box. How many of us have insurance in place? So you can just signify, I do, I don't, I do. Just please feel free to use the chat box. How many of us have insurance in place? Any form of insurance. So we talk about the life insurance, income protection, accidental cover, private medical, whole of life, which is for over 50s. How many of us have any form of insurance in place at the moment? So feel free while I continue to use the chat box, please. And it goes further to say, better to have insurance now that you don't need than need them than when insurance companies can insure you. So what he's trying to say is, it's better to have insurance that you don't need than when you need it not to have it. And we'd always say something that insurance is something that when you need it, it's too late for you to get it. So you can't have an accident now and say, oh, let me go and get insurance. Unfortunately, it's too late. It's not like food that when you're hungry, you can easily branch a mama puts and fill your belly, you know, or you go to McDonald's if you've got the money. Unfortunately, insurance is not like that. It's meant to be proactive. So it's a means of protection from financial loss. It is a form of risk in management, primarily used to hedge against the risk of contingencies or uncertain risk. What does that mean? A lot of people like, that's English. What it means is you pay a certain premium every month that in the event of if anything were to happen, i.e. for instance, life insurance. What does life insurance mean, by the way? A lot of people don't understand is life insurance, some people would always mix it. That life insurance is something that should take me till any time I die. Unfortunately, no. What does life insurance mean? Life insurance is a type of cover that protects your financial dependents. So what are your financial dependents? Thank you for those people that have put on the chart. Well, I think I can see about 10. We are 32. So please feel free to use the chat box. If you do have any type of insurances, use the chat box and let's know how many of us that have it and the ones that don't. Don't feel shy if you don't. It's always good. And I'll tell you the reason why at the end of my session. I think I'm still doing good with time. I think I have 20. Yeah, good. Fantastic. So yes, so that's what life insurance does protect. So it has a beginning and an end. Life insurance is a type of cover that when you start it, there's a time it does end. So anytime I'm doing consultation, a lot of people will be asking, oh, I want the type of cover that will take me till any time. The simple reason why life insurance will not take you to any time is not actually, even though you are the one that set it up, it's not for you technically. It's actually for your financial dependents. That in the event, if you were to die, your financial dependent will get a lump sum they can carry on as if you're still there. For instance, that example I gave earlier on with that doctor that had both a comprehensive cover, but the particular 2 ones that I was told to give the topic on, that's why I chose that particular example was when he died, he died of cancer, which was a critical illness cover. Then, of course, ultimately, he was dead. So he had a life cover to us. So both were able to pay out. Does that make sense? So he got paid out a lump sum for the critical illness cover and, of course, ultimately for the life insurance cover. Please feel free. I know there's a question and answer time to use the chat box as well. I can see it's increased to 12. Thank you for those people that have contributed. If I do have a life insurance, if I have an insurance, yes, I do. If I don't know, I don't. Thank you so much. So we have something that we call principle of financial security. Yep. Or financial intelligence, by the way. It's been like forever. And what does this mean? It means that what comes into you. So let's give an example. I know average of us on this platform, our earnings, looking at I've been observing most of us here, and I know that past debating team, they are top. They are top. They are high earners, and I'm sure the least anyone is earning here is £10,000 per month. I'm correct. Yes, I can see the smiles. Yes, £10,000 per month. So let's use that £10,000 to see. Oh, yeah, fantastic. So if we have £10,000, yeah, as an income, yeah, that's your incoming 100%. And thank you, Mrs. Oluwaseun, for clapping. I'm sure you're going to have a barbecue because you earned 10,000 this summer. You'll be inviting me and my family. Thank you. Yeah, so let's imagine we're earning £10,000. What does that mean? That means that we have to distribute it in a certain way. So £1,000, yeah, for if you're Christian, if you're Muslim, tithes, church, charity, you fall within that category, 10%. You pay yourself £1,000, 10%. Then plus or minus plus 35% or 10% for saving and investment, 1,000. Then again, we have the actual spendable money. They say for 10,000, it'll be about £6,000 plus or something. Now, the one I'm more particular about is the 5% for insurance. 5% for insurance. So for whatever you're earning, you can put your own figure in the income. The 5% for the £10,000 worth is £500, if I'm correct. Mrs. Oluwaseun, am I correct? Because that's your salary bracket. Thank you. So if you are not doing up to 500, please consult with me. I'll see you later so we can look at how best we can protect you and your family. But of course, you get the gist. Whatever amount you have as income, put in that income box and just scale it down so that you know that you are doing an adequate, protection for yourself and your family, right? Now, so I said earlier, these are the different types of covers that we have. So we have the personal insurances, and of course, we do have the general insurance. So I talked about life cover earlier. I was told to talk about the first two. I'm going to focus on that, and I'll just breeze through the rest. So life insurance is that one that I've just I kind of defined earlier. Then critical illness cover is a type of cover that it pays you a lump sum while you're doing your monthly contribution, like your mortgage every month or your rental. And they have a list of different types of critical ill health. I gave an example of cancer earlier, if it was to be diagnosed. I think when doctor was speaking earlier, he mentioned cholesterol. It's another kind of ailment that is very prevalent amongst us Blacks. And I want to believe that, please correct me, doctor, if I'm wrong, is connected to oil. So we use a lot of, fryings and all of that. So it's that type of thing that she discussed about being proactive. And insurance is always good for us to be proactive as well. So put something in place in the event if it were to happen, so that at least you can take advantage of the lump sum so you can take care of yourself. So that's critical illness cover. You contribute a certain amount, you're expecting a lump sum at the end of it if a medical condition was to be diagnosed within the terms and conditions that be shared with you at the onset of the policy being set up. So that's what critical illness cover definition in a nutshell. Income protection is a type of product that protects your income. In the event if you're unable to work due to sickness, accident, and or injury, they'll pay you a certain percentage of your gross income, either you're self-employed or you pay as you earn, they pay you that certain percentage. And of course, you can carry on to take care of your bills and all your expenses. Accidental cover is a type of cover that protects as a result of if there was any accident. Then endowment policy, otherwise known as funeral cover, is something that covers for over 50s. When we have private health cover, then of course, additional benefits attached to any of those. Then the general insurance is a type of cover that is I call them third party or third indirect type of insurances. So home and content does not directly affect you. However, it might have an impact on you too as well. If you're a landlord that has multiple properties, you definitely want to protect those properties that tenants are living in there. If you are protected, your main property, then of course, car, if you drive, you're expected by default to have a car insurance. Then travel insurance obviously is not compulsory after pandemic. That should have a certain form of cover in place if you travel. Then of course, we do have liabilities and indemnity, and of course, Lloyd's insurance. So we've talked about this in a nutshell earlier when we're talking about the financial intelligence. So this is just giving an example of 10.50 pounds a month. It's just giving our lifestyle. That a lot of people always think that life insurance, oh, I can't be bothered, oh, Jesus is my protector, oh, it's too expensive, or it's a waste of money. But when you look at what I've just given here, so for instance, Mr. A spent £10.50 on 4 large ladders. That could cover you for £100,000 worth of life cover. Mrs. B expends £21 a month for takeaway pizza. That could give you £1,000 worth of monthly income protection. And I'm not saying that pizzas are not good. I love pizzas. I don't take coffees. But if you can expend such amounts in these things, you should be able to set aside a certain amount that will potentially give you an advantage or something beneficial, if not for you, for your family. Then Mrs. B, £29 a month for cinema for 2. We can potentially give you an £80,000 worth of combined life and critical illness cover. And guess what? I won't mention names. Someone that's earning £10,000 a night out, maybe 4 times a month, which can conveniently give you £25,000 worth of whole life cover. So these are given examples for you to have a deep think about. Thank you for the 16 people that has actually contributed to that chat. We really appreciated your saying. Again, please expect that gift from the past debating. I didn't say I was going to give you. Or did I say that? Please ignore that, please. Yeah, but thank you for contributing. If you have not, please use the chat box. Let's know that at least you're here with us. Thank you. Now, a financial planning protection, your greatest access. You and your liabilities to earn, your ability to earn income. So that's your greatest asset. So that means you're healthy and healthy. You got your support. You wake up every day. So a doctor was talking about, you know, you wake up, you take it for granted. He says you should be lifting stuff, should be doing exercises. Those are things we take for granted. But we're healthy and healthy, so we can go to work and come back. But then all of a sudden, something shifts. And the whole thing just shifts. Why? Because something just came up from nowhere. Maybe it's illness, or ultimately somebody died, or it's affected your income. Then, of course, the next thing is what's going to happen to my family, the financial dependence, or to myself. And, you know, I said I was going to talk about inheritance tax and trust. These are the other areas people don't even talk about at all. So trustees. So there's some people, I've not checked the chat box. Thank you for the 17 people. I'm still counting. I'm expecting about 34 to contribute to that. A lot of people set up life cover or insurance generally, but they forget about trust. And trust is something that it would allow you to evade the tax. So while you're alive, you're taxed. If you don't do things right for your life cover, you'll still be taxed if you die. So to put up a trust, one of the benefits is to make sure that you can avoid probate. You won't be taxed up to 40%. That's one of the benefits. So if you already have a cover in place, please make sure that it's already in trust. It's vitally, very, very important. Make sure that it's in trust. It's very, very important to make sure that you put it in trust. Yeah. And trustees are people that are over 18. Preferably the person lives here because they'll be paying it in pounds, not in Naira, not in Rupee, or in or Ghana cedis, in not other currency, but here. So it's a bit easier and stressless for that person to be living here. 18, somebody you trust. And what does that do? They give the money to the trustee, and the trustee will not distribute to the beneficiaries. And that only applies to life insurance, sometimes to critical illness, but majorly for life cover. Yeah. Please, if you do have, I've talked about the probate and all of that. If you do have any questions, please, please, please don't hesitate to, when it's question time, or you can drop it on the chat box. And I think they said there's an app that you can actually use to drop your questions to as well. So finally, as a recap, what I want to say is this. Let me look at the chat box. So there are lots of questions, there are lots of answers. So you can use the Slido to drop your questions, please. Yeah, I do. Partially not sufficient. I do. What does bills? What about bills, sir? You are right, sir. So somebody said partially. A lot of people say I do. And thank you so much for the people that say I do. There were more, I'll say percentage of people that said I do must be about, let's say 70, 80% out of the people that took part in that, which is, I think you should give yourself a round of applause because I was expecting less, to be honest. And so that's a good thing. But if you do, don't let's leave it there. If you do by yourself, what of other people around you? It's one thing for you to do. What about other people around you? It's not something that it's a good news. Don't let's leave it to ourselves only. Let's make sure that we spread these words around so that a lot of people can understand the purpose of why we're doing it. Now, not only that, let me share this screen. So if you say you do, I don't want you to use the chat box for this, but for your own consumption, which ones do you do there? So you might say, I do. What we always do, if I do a private consultation with people, is I would always want to say, do you have what is called comprehensive? So based on your lifestyle at the moment, do you have a life cover? Yes, I do. Tick. You have a critical illness cover? Yes, I do. Tick. Do you have an income protection or protect your income? Yes, I do. Tick. You have an accidental cover, because if you have the first three, you don't have accident. If accident were to happen to you, God forbid, what is going to protect you? So you want to look at what I've just shared now. If you say you do, can you look at the screen and see how many of those ones that you do? And if the budget permits, because budget is vitally important, please, do you want to look at going back to your financial advisor, and feel free you want to speak to me, fantastic. Or whoever they must have set it up for you, go back to them and say, yeah, I had a conversation, I had a webinar. Mr. Prince said, oh, you know what? I need to come back to you to review whatever I have, because I don't think I have what is comprehensive in the event if anything were to happen to me. What we don't want to do in insurance is to take chances. What does that mean? To say, okay, oh, I have this, I don't have that. So I know nothing is going to happen to me and something is going to happen to me. I know my time is fast spent because I can see Pastor giving me a sign. I know he's fast spent. I know she's very articulate when it comes to time. So the last thing is please, 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 and please make sure that today you want to do something different. Don't come to past debating and do it as business as usual. I want you to take something away from this, and not only doctors' things that I would say we should write notes, I've written notes, and including myself too as well, and make sure that you want to take action. I want to say again, thank you for past debating. Apologies, I took 3 minutes over your time. I do appreciate. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the wonderful information that you've passed and challenging us to do more. Can we applaud and appreciate Prince Adedapo Araromi? And peradventure, you do not have any of this. We have the privilege of having him here. You can speak to Sister Bumi, who can link you up with him. I think that's, what can be done. It's something that we need to do as individual. We need to have that protection. Yes, God is our insurance, but we need to do what we need to do. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is question time. If you have any question, this is the time to ask your question. We have both Ma and Sa here to answer the questions. Any question on Slido at the moment? Sister Bumi?
No, nothing at the moment. Please do feel free as well. If you've got your questions, you can use the reaction button. Just use the reaction button and then we can call you to ask any question that you have, whether it is Andropos question or whether it's the financial one as well.
Okay. So we don't have any question here at the
if
moment.
you don't know how to use the reaction button, I think also just unmute yourself and ask.
You can unmute yourself. This is the time to unmute yourself and ask your question.
Any question for our speaker? Or we are all good? We understand what has been said?
So we're saying that our speakers have done a good job. Is that what we are saying? That's, that's the feedback. They've done a good job. No question at all.
I think I'll ask one question regarding the Andropos. When you talk about it, is there a particular age that it sets in? Or is it literally like from age 30, or is it younger adults? What particular age does it set in? And would everyone experience it at a point in their lives?
Yes, all men will experience it. And I said it starts from age 30. 1% of your testosterone level is lost every year. It is lost every year. So if you are losing 1%, let's say you start from age 30 every year. By the time the person is in their 50s, so they've lost 20% already. Yes, 20% already. So by the time they're in their 60s, then all this talk about I need to get Viagra. I don't know if you have had that medication before. Viagra. Medically, we call it Stimetil. Yeah, so a lot of people begin to use Viagra. It's nothing to really worry about. It's a normal thing. Like a woman will get to a state that her period ceases. And once your period ceases as a woman, you begin to have all sorts of symptoms. So it shouldn't be a thing of worry. It's not that, oh, I'm getting old now, this. So just to answer your question, yes, it's not restricted to a particular age. It's a continuous thing. Gradually, it reduces, and it doesn't affect fertility. That's the beauty of it. And that's why 80-year-old men can still impregnate a woman. Unlike the women, from the moment you are getting to like 45, 50 thereabout, it takes a miracle, because we expect that by then you would have shed all your eggs. But in the case of men, yes, there is a reduction, but they still have the ability to fertilize eggs. Does that answer your question? I don't know.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Thank you, ma.
You're welcome.
Any other question from anyone? Any question?
Questions?
I'm just trying to read through my
Mm.
notes because I've written a lot. And I think one of the things that you've said, which is very important, is learning to maximize your life. And obviously, understanding that everybody's prescription differs because everyone's health file actually is different as well. And you gave the example of, the eggs, because I see a lot of, young people, men, even women increase their protein. And, it's actually interesting to see that yes, eggs can be good, but if you've got kidney issues, then you don't need to take the yolk. And I think that is very, very key, that we actually go back to our doctors and not just use somebody else's prescription and think that it should work for you as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of food that we think are healthy, but when we have other medical conditions, they may actually be harmful. So, like you have said, everybody's prescription is different, if we can use that word. Yeah, people have to know what their problem is and visit the right professional. You need a nutritionist, you go to a nutritionist. If you are going to a dietitian, you are going to the wrong person. There's a difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian.
Mm.
So if I can say that so that people understand what I'm trying to say, go to the right person for the right treatment.
Okay,
Okay,
we'll
I
go
think we
hand up.
have, we've got a hand up. Grace, do you want to unmute yourself, please, and ask your question? Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Okay, hello. Good evening. Yeah.
Good evening.
I just want to mention something, because according to the topic, you mentioned about what is it called? You mentioned about what matters. And I think have we discussed about their mental health as well? Because that really matters.
We did.
Yeah. Well, maybe I don't know. I was actually because the question I want to ask men over there is why, because most men, they are always very, when it comes to issue of being vulnerable and being open about their health and about a lot of issues, they maintain a kind of silence. I don't have the percentage, but I'm a married woman and I've dealt with men, and my children are men too. So they said it's okay. They don't feel, when they are vulnerable, they don't discuss it either with their spouse. They might discuss it with somebody they feel comfortable. But in most marriages, I feel their ego too normally affects them. I'm talking from a trauma point of view. So and that's the area I want to actually, that I will be interested. I think many people will be interested. Whereas as we are celebrating men's health, men's mental health, that's why the men's day or men's month or something.
Yeah, men's month.
It didn't
Yes.
seem so, because I expect this platform to have like maybe almost 200 people if they're actually really interested, because these are the platform where they can be empowered so that they will know that things like that, they don't need to shy away from them. if they come and they listen to things like this, then it's easy for them to share with their spouse or easy go to their doctors. Even at times when they come to us, they still don't want to talk until you probe and probe, or when it has really got into a very terrible stage. So, and thank God for you women that are here. One way or the other, you can still let them know that it's nothing to be ashamed of. Like a woman, you have reached menopause. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Unfortunately, some women reach menopause before the actual age. Some ladies have seen ladies have reached menopause at 36, unfortunately. Right. Yeah. And some people it runs in their family. But if they have been educated, they will be empowered. And it will not catch them unawares. They would have prepared their mind, okay, this runs in my family and all that. Yes. So they would have prepared themselves. It's either they work against it, or as soon as it comes, they just live up to it. Yes, madam, you want to say something?
Yes, I just want to say, can Mr. Dapo say something, because I want to hear the men's point of view.
Yeah, that's actually where I was going to. I was going to say it's a privilege to have Prince in our midst, and probably he may have one or two things in defense of his species, if I can use that word.
So I wasn't sure whether the question was directed to me, so that's why I kept mute.
Yes.
Well, now that you mentioned my name,
over to you, sir.
So, when you talk about mental health, I think you've hit it on the head. When I think lately, men are beginning to speak out more, like before. Funny enough, apart from the fact that I'm a financial advisor, I do a lot of community work. So I do consultations on the wide spread. So what we tend to realize these days is a lot of men are speaking up. You ask the question, why are men not speaking up? Now, ego is one thing, yes.
Exactly.
In fact, I want to believe ego is the major thing. Then two, the fact that men don't want to look weak when they're discussing their problems. So they would rather prefer to keep it by themselves rather than to share with someone else. Now, you did mention again that sometimes you'll be surprised that men will find comfort in the strangest places. So you said they might not want to share with XYZ, but they would have someone they're talking to. So they'll still definitely have someone, but it's funny that that someone, it all depends, to be honest. But what we have decided to do as a community, I think recently, is we men want to take that past debating, using your words, your organization thing, to ourselves. So we men are trying to organize how we can meet up, not in the beer parlor, not in any other place, but in a sane environment, whereby we can have deep conversations, whereby we can be vulnerable around ourselves, whereby we can tell ourselves the truth, whereby we can open up more, whereby we can release our ego. And it's funny that when I do consultations, that sometimes when I rant, when I'm ranting with my colleague, for instance, what I'm ranting about is exactly the same thing he's ranting about. But if you don't have someone that is like a common, like somebody that you think your own problem is unique to yourself, until you share it, you won't believe that it's common. And when it's common, then you now understand that a common problem should have a common solution. But if you don't share it, you think it's an uncommon thing. And by the time you share it, you find out that, wow, so it's common. So yes, you've addressed it, that what you have said is absolutely spot on, that men, they don't want to share because they have ego, which is the major thing. Two, even if they're sharing, and again, there are some other things. Sometimes you share with someone because they have personal agenda, instead of them trying to find a solution to it. We've been brought up that men should not, i.e., be emotional, cultural thing. Men should be strong, even at the weakest points. So with all of those things wired in your brain, you find out that even if you're going through issues, you want to just suppress it to yourself. But lately, a lot of men are coming out now, and they're finding common grounds, because whatever is happening to Mr. A is common. It's happening across board. If you gather 10 men together after discussing business, your problem, you discover maybe 8 of them is the same problem that you're facing. But what I want to advise to as well, for the women that are here, now that you said it, and I know Doctor mentioned here as well, I think take us men as your first child. And I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. That sometimes men need an enabling environment to be able to express themselves.
Exactly. Yes.
An enabling environment. That's what we need. So that environment should be comfortable, convenient for us to be able to open up. And an average African man is a family man. Irrespective of whatever, yes, there are other things that men are known for, I understand. And I'm sure this is not what we're talking about here now. Say, why are men not opening up? And I'm opening up now to say, we need an enabling environment so that we can open up. So I hope I've been able to say to my auntie, Auntie Grace.
Yes, and one thing I'd like to add, you actually nailed it, is the fact that, and some of the things, like for instance, your upbringing have trained you to be avoidant or to see vulnerability as a sign of weakness because of the patriarchal society, or because what you view when we were growing up as our parents, that men don't cry, all those things that hardened the mind of men not to open up, and they see, and they don't like to be vulnerable. But these days, things are changing, but it needs more. Sometimes wounds, and even they don't mind cracking under anything that is that come as a storm, and they are not able to open up and seek help immediately. So that's just my take, but you nailed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir, for the contribution. Is there any other question? Can we check the have you checked the comment box? Nothing is there.
No, there's none.
Okay. So I'm mindful of time, and we're just going to move on. The next bit is just general information about Pass the Baton. We would like you, if you have not yet subscribed to our channels, our social media, we have the Instagram, we have the YouTube, we have, all sorts of social media. We have Facebook. Please do engage with us on our social media platform. For future engagements and notification of our program, if you're not on our mailing list, we'll crave your indulgence as well to drop your email here. This is a safe space, and we would reach out to you whenever we have any, events or any of our activities, and we would love you to be a part of it. Also, even if you're a male here today, because our male event is just twice a year during the Love Month, which is February, we have our couples events, and Father's Day, we also have a special, very special event for you. However, we also know that you have women in your lives, and which, of course, Pass the Baton will be very instrumental in helping. So dropping your email is also something that we would love to have. Our next program is for the Pass the Baton, majorly for women, is June 11, 2026. Is around June 11. Okay.
July.
July. So I'm so sorry. July 11th, 2026. We have this every year. This is our annual conference. It's around the corner. Please, Sister Bumi will post the flyer or something
Yeah, I'll send it
here.
out.
Yeah, please, you can help us share our male counterparts. Please help us share it with your circle of influence as well. We'd love to have as many female there as possible. It's usually a time of relaxation, fun, learning. So many things happen. I never want to miss it. Also, for our next year event, that for Father's event, if you have any topic that is really heavy on your mind that you want us to, be able to work on and bring to the forefront like this and discuss, please do share the topic with us. You can email us, you can use the Slido, or you can reach out to us as well. I think
We've got
that's it.
just one question that has just come, and on that note, that question we're gonna end it. I just
Okay.
don't want us to it just came in. It says, "Well done to both guest speakers. Thank you. My question is, what would make the environment enabling to softening men's enormous ego or pride?" Maybe Prince can answer from a man's perspective. Thank you, sir. You are okay.
I thought I was here for insurance.
This is the pain point, sir. This is our pain point.
What will make an environment enabling? How do I describe this? So a seed planted without it being watered is not going to germinate. Yeah. Let me make it more practical. So a man is married, comes home stressed. Before he leaves home, there's been already a situation on ground. So the natural thing is for the man to be the man in any situation. So that means the man needs to man up. Sometimes the man needs to be cared for. Sometimes the man needs to be listened to. Sometimes the man needs to, that situation on ground, the woman needs to manage it in such a way to say, okay, what is stressing you out? I know it's theoretical, but if one can train himself or herself, eventually it will work out. So what that means is, given that practical example, what will make an enabling environment in the practical terms is, like I said, somebody comes home already stressed. There was already a situation on ground before he comes home. The last time you want that is to bring that thing. That can come later. Make sure you bring that man to your terms. And of course, if you've been married for some time, you understand your man. You understand the man. So what will make that enabling environment is not one size fits all. You would know. So it's not something that is theoretical. I'll say this. You know your man. You know how to make that environment enabling. But what we normally do, and of course, including us men, so it's not only directed to the women. Sometimes the women too need it, but because we're discussing about the men aspects, and that's why I'm talking about it from the man's perspective. And sometimes you need to just drop your shirt or just drop your sword. You can readdress that later. Attend to that person's attention. Then, of course, you can always now revisit it. I hope I've been able to kind of answer that question in the best way I can. Because I was on the spot when I wasn't prepared for this topic. But because I'm in man, that's why I've been given that.
Yeah. Thank
you.
you very much, sir. I hope that's sort of a satisfactory answer. And this is not something that can be explored once. This is something that we should explore all the time, actually. But thank you for, taking the time to answer. All right, Sma.
Okay. Thank you, our speaker. Thank you very much, sir, for all your contributions and the teaching of tonight as well. I appreciate you. I've learned as well. To answer that question, whoever that sent that question, if you're a woman, our speaker has just told us that you should allow an enabling environment in your home. Okay. After allowing an enabling environment, like you are not stressing the man, you are not the snappy, the nagging type, those are the ways to actually enable the environment. I also want to say that respect and trust is very, very key. From the Christian point of view, whether women likes it or not, the Bible says men are the head of the home. I know people don't want to hear that. If you don't treat your husband as the head of your home, then he will not be vulnerable to you because he needs to see himself in that position. That's part of the ego. There's nothing you can do about that. But if you give him that enabling environment by showing him that you recognize his headship over you and that he can be trusted, I mean, you can be trusted rather, then the man will open up. I've been married and I lost my husband. Yes, if a man knows that this person, whatever I hand over in my mother tongue, he said, if I have to interpret it now, whatever I hide in her hands remains hidden. Some women will hear some things about their spouse, or even the other way around as well. They will go and share it with their friends. The people around them will know, their siblings will know. So the man, knowing who that person, kind of person that lady is, we may not want to open up. And it's safe to say it to friends whom he knows can keep. So women on the platform, please, or even men on the platform too. The reason maybe some women may not want to share with their husbands is their family members. Everybody in the family will hear, their friends will hear. And they see themselves being stigmatized. So respect, trust, very, very important. Then you need to reward that individual. When somebody is vulnerable to you, how do you reward it? You show empathy. You are not judging them. Hey, I told you, when I said you shouldn't be drinking, I told you not to be smoking, I told you not to be eating that thing. I never. They will come to you next time. They will not open up. But when they open up, show empathy. Appreciate what they have come to say to you and show them that you kind of realize what they have said and you are even showing gratitude for opening up at all. Let them know that, you could come and talk to me. You trust me. Show that gratitude as well, that they can even come and open up to you. A lot of times we feel we're entitled to it. My husband must share with me. He must. No, it doesn't work like that. If you don't create that enable environment, they will not. Respect, trust, then show empathy and let them know you appreciate them even for coming at all. Don't let them see that they are weak. When you see them, make them feel that, oh, this is your weakness. They will not come again. So the person who asks the question, I hope that I've been able to add to what our male speaker have said. So don't be judgmental. Don't condemn them. Don't let them feel little because they have come to share with you. Rather, embrace them, encourage them, lift up, even let that ego, even let it rise more by the time they leave your presence. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you very much, Ma. I hope we are all gleaning from everything that's been said tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'll hand over to Sister Bumi as we round up.
Thank you so much. I think I'm just going to read quickly. It says, thank you, Ma. Let me add loyalty in addition to respect and trust. And that's from Prince. And then the last comment says that the truth is things are changing very fast. Men are now talking to men. Who is ready to listen to them, which is excellent vulnerability, especially those who are vulnerable and honest. And that's what we want to see. That was one of the things I think we shared at last year's PTB. He was talking about brotherhood, listening to each other as men, because we have a lot of women who engage, but this is just about men. Find another man to talk to, find another man to speak to, and you would still, like, genuinely, most in the world, I say everyone's going through the same thing. It's like a circle. So once you find out that somebody has gone through it, then life becomes easier. You can talk about it, you can discuss it. And then when you do all of that, the problem becomes smaller. It's not really magnified. So I want to say a big thank you to all of the men who have shown up tonight. I appreciate you. God bless you. Thank you, Prince. I think it's been almost 2 years that's we've been saying, oh, when are you coming? And I'm glad that finally you are here. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And just before we go, so people are now still trying to come in. Okay, just before we go quickly, I would just hand it over to my husband, who is just in the background, to just say a quick word of prayer, and then we end the meeting. Thank you so much. You can see it's fine.
Praise the Lord. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this session which we've had today. Can everybody hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this session we've had today. We thank you for the speakers. We thank you for everyone that contributed, everyone that supported, and everyone that attended this event. May the peace of God and the glory of God rest with you. May the information shared with you bless you and bless your life, bless your soul. I pray for abundance. I pray for long life. I pray for your good health. I pray that God will increase your capacity in Jesus' mighty name. Thank you for coming, and we look forward to seeing you next time. God bless.
You. And we just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for coming from everywhere. I think I see people from different places and from different organizations that we are part of. I really appreciate you. Have a good night rest and have a very blessed weekend. Thank you. Bye for now. Thank you.